I want this to be known as the show where I was just covered in Band-Aids. I got one on my thumb. I got one on my neck. I'm just a mess.
Did you fight a mountain lion this weekend?
You know what? Funny you should ask. Why don't we tell everyone what we did this weekend? Well, Ted, this weekend was a very big weekend. It was JoeMania.
JoeMania. What is that?
Yeah, see, that's what a lot of people are asking right now.
If you've been to a JoeMania, leave it in the comments. Tell us what your best experience was.
And if you've never been to a JoeMania or have no idea what JoeMania is, well, we're about to tell you. Actually, if it wasn't for JoeMania, there would be no DB and Ted podcast right now. That's how important JoeMania really is. So it all begins about, 5 years ago when the pandemic's going on. And, we're all doing that thing where we're trapped at home and we're trying to find stuff to do to pass the time. And during that time, I was doing a little YouTube show called DB's Arcade, where I was basically talking about classic arcade games from the 80s and 90s. And it started with Pac-Man and Donkey Kong, Double Dragon. And then I did an episode about the game Contra. And after I finished this episode, I sent the link out from YouTube to all my friends saying, hey guys, watch this video. Tell me what you think. And my buddy Joe, who I've known for a while, hit me back and said, hey man, love the episode. Would you mind if I share this with my brother-in-law, Ted? And I'm like, of course, because I need more viewers. Absolutely. Please share it with Ted. I don't know who Ted is, but give it to him.
Get me the views.
Get me the views. This guy could be in prison for all I care. As long as he's watching, I don't care where he is or what he's doing. Just make him watch the damn video.
We got new viewership from some place called Leavenworth. I don't know. There's like 10 of them.
Lots of viewers from this place. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, they love this arcade show. They're all like, yeah, I remember I used to play video games a lot. In fact, if it wasn't for arcade games, I wouldn't be the killer I am today. This is getting pretty dark all of a sudden.
I stabbed that one guy over Street Fighter.
Flawless victory. Ah! All right, so Ted gets his hands on the link to watch Contra. He watches it and sends me a video. He's like, hey, man, love the video. It was awesome. And I shot a comment back to him saying, hey, thanks. I think I was like, hey, man, check out some of my other videos. Tell me what you think. And this kind of started the conversation between him and I. We became friends. And next thing you know, I was like, hey, man, you want to work together and create some new videos? I would love to have you help me out. And it kind of went from there.
You remember the pandemic. Everybody's, some people are baking bread. I ended up building an arcade dashboard because we started talking. And I'd never been into arcade games as much as consoles. So you kind of pulled me into that. So here we are.
And here we are. And because of Joe introducing me to Ted, we are now here doing this podcast, DB and Ted. So what is JoeMania? Joe is the guy who brought us together, and we've been making content ever since. And Joe, over the weekend, turned 40, and we had a big, huge 40th birthday party at Ted's house for Joe, which was awesome.
So you may ask, what is the mania part? Well,
please explain.
So I missed wrestling growing up. And I was sort of re-educated by whatever you guys tell me and my one other friend who likes to talk about wrestling. So I only know a little bit. But we put together a WWE-themed birthday party complete with entryway and entrance music and a big ring that there's a photo backdrop. It kind of looks like you're there. It was actually really well done. That was all my wife. And we put themed food together and everything, and we had some activities, but I basically had to practice my Macho Man Randy Savage impression, my oh yeah, to get in there and pretend that I know anything about wrestling, because if you know me, I don't, but I faked it really well.
No, and I gotta tell you, Ted had a really awesome Macho Man Randy Savage costume, but he didn't have just one, he had two. At some point during the party, my man Macho Man Teddy Savage over here changed his outfits in the middle of the party, and you had a good reason why. At first I was like, dude, are you just trying to be fancy or something? Are you trying to show us up? But what was the reason why you changed halfway through the party?
No, let me tell you, pleather sweats, dude. So my first My first costume was the Macho Man Randy Savage of the 80s into 90s, where he was repping the Slim Jim. So it's half cheetah print and half pleather that's like a brown-red Slim Jim color. I'm basically a human Slim Jim with tassels, right? And I walked around in that with big clunky boots for like 2 hours. And I was like, screw this. We actually, no, the fun part was before the costume change, we left the party because we had to go get supplies. And we went to a couple stores because we couldn't find something. So we walked into a couple public places dressed as, who were you again?
Oh, I was Roddy Piper, and my fiance Sherry was dressed as Rowdy Ronda Rousey. And the reason why we dressed up as Roddy Piper and Ronda Rousey was, one, they both wear like the same kind of outfit because Ronda Rousey was a fan of Roddy Piper. So when she got into professional wrestling, she kind of wore an outfit that was inspired by Roddy Piper. And we decided to be Piper and Rousey because originally we were going to bring to the party Roddy Hot Poppers, which was just jalapeno poppers. But we were running late, didn't get the stuff to make it, so that didn't happen. But she and I were dressed as Piper and Rousey. And Ted was dressed as Macho Man Randy Savage, and we decided to go on a beer run. And Ted's like, let's go on a beer run. I'm like, sure, because I'm dressed in a kilt. She's dressed in Ronda Rousey outfit. You're dressed like the Macho Man. What could possibly go wrong?
So this guy in full kilt and me in tassels with a cowboy hat walking into a distributor, a restaurant, and a bar.
Right.
And we didn't turn any heads.
No. And of course, I mean, I think Sherry's outfit was pretty normal looking for the most part. Like if you didn't see who was on her t-shirt, you would just think, oh, this is just a woman wearing a short skirt and some boots, and maybe they're just going to some kind of party or something, and she's meeting up with her girlfriends. But then right behind her is Roddy Piper and Randy Savage. So I'm sure that made people say, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, I don't think it helped when you mooned me from outside the car in a kilt.
That was the big question I had during the entire party. Are you wearing anything under the kilt? Because I guess Scottish tradition is you don't wear nothing under your kilt. But I'm not Scottish, so therefore I think I get a pass.
Right.
Okay, so we go into a liquor store, and I drink a kind of beer that requires an orange with it. I mean, it's the jelly to your peanut butter and jelly sandwich, right? So I'm like, I need an orange to go with this beer I want to drink. Well, of course, the liquor store we went to didn't have any oranges. So we stop at a convenience store, and they didn't have any oranges. So there's a bar right across the street from this convenience store. And I think either you or me were like, I bet that place has got oranges.
I said, like, turn left here. And he said, I don't want to go in there and ask them for oranges. I said, come on, we need a good story. So we pull in. I said, listen, what's the worst that can happen? We walk in. I said, we're dressed as wrestlers. We're definitely, they're definitely going to pay attention to us. At least we can laugh if they say no. So we go in, and we walk up, and I said, oh, yeah, listen, I'm at a 40th birthday party, and I'm thinking we got to go out there, but we can't go all the way to the store. I got to get back to the house. Yeah. Do you sell oranges? And she goes, yeah, I can sell you an orange.
And meanwhile, we're on the corner of this bar, right? On the other side of the corner are these two guys just looking at us. And they're like, so you guys going somewhere special dressed like that? And I'm, of course, I'm like, nah! Yeah. I'm Roddy Piper. I'm like, nah! We dress like this all the time. And I said, come on, man. Let's face it. We're in South Jersey. This isn't the weirdest thing you've ever seen. And he goes, you're right.
He immediately agreed with you. There was no hesitation. No, it's not.
This is not the weirdest thing you've seen in South Jersey. So, yeah.
Which I didn't know that was his. I told you, I don't know a lot about wrestling. I didn't know that was his persona, that like evil laugh thing. So you're on my left going, ah! I'm like, what is this? You sound like Dastardly from Dastardly and Muttley.
Oh, yeah. He does that laugh, too, that hee laugh, but it's kind of a... Yeah. So, we get the oranges, then we do a couple quick shots, because, of course, we had to have a shot. We're two wrestlers sitting at a bar. That's what they would have done back in the day.
That's right.
So we take a couple quick shots, and then we get back in the car and drive back to JoeMania. We drop off everything that we picked up at the store, and this is where my first injury of the weekend came in. I get to one of the counters, I find a cutting board and a knife, and now I got my oranges to put in my beer. I'm slicing, and damn it if I didn't down there cut off the tip of my fingertip, cutting these oranges up. And as soon as I did, I was like, I didn't scream it. I felt it, but it didn't hurt, but I felt it. As soon as I did, I grabbed my finger and I squeezed it real tight. And I said to Ted, who was close by, I said, damn it, I just cut my finger. And he's like, come on with me to the bathroom. Now, Roddy Piper and the Macho Man are in the bathroom. I mean, this definitely had to look like something from the 80s.
Rifling through drawers to try and find first aid kits.
Right. And one of us did a blade job, except not across the forehead, across my finger. Normally, back in the day, they would cut themselves across the head so they look like they're bleeding after getting hit in the head with a chair. Meanwhile, it's just me cutting my fingers. My finger looks like I cut it off with a steel chair, which that doesn't make any sense, but whatever.
Got caught in the hinges,
Yeah, that would be me. So we're in the bathroom trying to find a Band-Aid for my bleeding finger, and we finally find a Band-Aid, and then we get back to action, and it was just a wild, fun time. All our friends were dressed as different wrestlers. Your wife, Stephanie, was dressed as who?
My wife, Stephanie, was Mankind, because she doesn't do anything half-hearted. She went and got the coolest costume she could get. She had a Mr. Sacco on. Yeah. I made her watch the Hell in a Cell match just for context.
Right. Well, I mean, she wouldn't be allowed to dress like that if she doesn't know about falling off the cage and the famous line. What was the famous line?
It's I believe it's roses are red, jokes make you laugh. As God is my witness, he's broken in half. Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. As always, Ted throws the best parties. If Ted says he's throwing a party, you know it's going to be good.
It's not a one-man show. Joe's girlfriend did a lot of the recon for the images and putting all the crafts together and sourcing all the ideas. She was prepping for weeks. I texted him afterwards. I said, you're a lucky man. She did a lot of work. And then my wife was there on craft day. She was discussing with her the whole time, so she was giving input. And then craft day was just like a whole day worth of decorating and work. So a lot went into this. Those guys are just an all-star team.
Yeah. So all in all, it was a lot of fun. Joe turns 40. Happy birthday to our buddy Joe. And like you said, without Joe, there would be no DB and Ted because he kind of brought us together several years ago. And here we are today doing the show. So
thanks, Joe.
It's very fitting that we do a show for Joe today to say happy birthday and talk about the fun that was JoeMania. So there you go. And Ted, kudos to you and your team for another killer party at your house.
Thank you. I thought we did a good job.
Your team. Yeah, that's right. Ted is the mastermind behind the whole operation.
Yeah. I joined in the last day to do the entryway. I think credit goes to the other ones.
You're the movie producer who they just slap your name on there so people buy tickets. Like you're the Steven Spielberg of the. He doesn't really do anything, but if you slap his name on it, like, oh, well, it's a Steven Spielberg project. Of course, I'm going to watch it. That's kind of what Ted does. Ted just slaps his name on it.
I'm more of a Quentin Tarantino.
Real quick, so before we went over your house for the big JoeMania party, I pulled a U. And I love this. This to me is a this is something now I do that's fun. I try to figure out things that before I would have been like, I'll just call it Ted. But now I'm like, what would Ted do? It's WWTD.
Should we make shirts?
Yeah, WWTD. What would Ted do?
Can I just add real quick? I just got to add that is a very dangerous question because sometimes you're fixing something that wouldn't be fixed, but other times, I mean, what would Ted do? You really got to think about that. You might not. You might want to think about what Ted would do, and then do the opposite.
This is true. In fact, that is a good point. You may want to think to yourself, will this cause my house to burn down? Will this cause me to lose friends? Will this cause me to lose my life?
Dwight from The Office once said, I think to myself, would an idiot do this? And if the answer is yes, I do not do that thing.
And so you just change the word idiot to Ted, and there you go. So before we came over to your house for JoeMania the night before, Sherry has this little game system called a SNES Classic Edition. It's basically a smaller version of a Super Nintendo, but it's preloaded with several games. And I found out how to add games that you have onto this thing. So I have access to a ton of classic and SNES games as well as NES games. And I was like, ooh, it'd be fun to have all of them on one system where I can just scroll through the menu and pick the game I want to play and just play it. So I went online to find out how to do it, take the games I have and put them on this thing, and I did it. And as soon as I did it, I go run and brag to Ted, like, Ted, I did it by myself. I figured it out. Like, it's always an achievement to me to brag to Ted that I figured out something like this. So I get all these games on there, and one game I had on there was actually from the old Atari. And this is a game that's got a bad rep in the video game world. And after I got my hands back on it, after many decades, I don't get why it has such a bad rap. It's E.T., and it came out in I want to say 82 or 83. The movie came out in 82 or 83, but then they rushed to put out a video game version on Atari almost right after the movie came out.
At Christmas.
Right, by Christmas. And you know, according to legend, it damn near killed the home console business because ET was so bad. People just hated the Atari. It took a couple years until Nintendo came along with the Nintendo Entertainment System to kind of make people want to buy home consoles again. So anyway, I got my hands on ET, kind of now with this thought in my head, like, man, this game was the game that damn near killed video game consoles for everybody. Was it really that bad? So I started playing it, and it's a challenging game. Controls are a little clunky, but we're not talking about PlayStation 5 here. We're talking about 1982 or 3 Atari 2600. You had a joystick and one button. What were you expecting to happen? You know, like you're working with what you had.
So there's a good documentary on this. I think it's called Atari Endgame. I don't know if it's still available to stream. But the long and the short of this is, I believe the lead developer was Howard Warshaw, who had done previous games. He's a known developer who had done a lot of good stuff prior. It was rushed. So he took a VCS, that's the development system. He took a VCS development system home and was basically working around the clock to get this done. The complaints about the game are that you'll go from screen to screen, and with the graphics being so rudimentary, the screen will change from a side scroller to top-down view and not warn you. You might fall into a pit, and now all of a sudden your controls don't work the way they did before. You can now move up and down and left and right, and you're like, how, why is this different? Why is this not consistent? So a little bit confusing, and there was a lot going on with the objectives. So for that time, it was a little more complex, I think, than people were ready for, and a lot did get returned to the stores. But spoiler alert, this has been out since like 2014, so I think we're past the envelope here. The downfall of Atari was not solely ET. There were a lot of marketing decisions and production decisions that led to them falling apart. So it is not, they dug up the landfill. It's not solely ET that was buried. It was a bunch of equipment. But yeah, I agree with you. If you take some time and actually play this game, it's probably pretty enjoyable. You need some time to get used to it. I don't think people were ready for that. But that's funny because this actually leads into something that I wanted to say, which was, did you see that Atari is re-releasing what's affectionately called the 2600? There is a Pac-Man style, full-size, cartridge playing 2600. Full color, like it's not that wood grain that you remember. The switches are still there, but it's yellow. It's got Pac-Man and Ghosts on the front, and it's coming out with a new Pac-Man game for Atari, and it will play your old cartridges, which I have. So I'm considering buying one of these. However, the price tag, and I'm sure we can find it, it's somewhere around, I think it's like $260 for this. And I'm on the fence because Do I want this to add to my collection, and would it be a great homage to Pac-Man, and would I have a good use for it? Certainly. How much do I want to pay for that? Oh, and the joysticks come in 5 colors, Pac-Man yellow and 4 ghosts, and they are wireless. And of course, this is all updated so you can plug it into your current TV, you know. So what do you think?
Oh man, that's so tough, because I'm somebody, and I don't know if this is just my ADHD or what. Like, I'm somebody who may play that thing all week long, but by Sunday night I'm done with it, and then it sits somewhere and gets forgotten. Or maybe there'll be one game where I'm just like obsessing about, like if there was ET on this thing, because it's a challenge, I might sit there and try to play it until I beat it. I don't know, but you're right. It's kind of like, well, I'm not like you. You've got this amazing collection in your house, so like it almost feels necessary for you to have this with the rest of your Atari museum. You know what I mean? Because 10 years from now, you're going to be like, oh, this is the one they released in 2025, which was this big celebration of the game system, and your old games can play on it. The new one was on there, blah, you know, all that stuff. So I'm torn. Like, if you buy it, I'm definitely coming over to try it and play it, because I want to see this thing. When I buy it, I feel like if I bought it, I'd play it for a little bit, and then it would sit in my entertainment center right next to my Switch, and I would almost never touch it.
Yeah, it's possible. That's what I'm kind of worried about. I was going to reserve one. I was actually going to buy it right off the bat, and I think it comes out closer to October, if I'm not mistaken. But I was going to pull the trigger, and then I looked at the price, and I thought, let me take a beat. I'm going to consider it a little bit. I might end up with one, and if I do, you know I'm going to call you right away, pull it out of the box, and show it off, and then you'll come over. We'll play a Pac-Man tournament for maybe 2 hours, and then it'll sit on my shelf. But
right. I mean, that's the good thing about your house. So you have like a video game museum over there. So it's like you've got gaming systems and accessories that people probably forgot about. Like during the party at your house, I saw a Power Glove sitting on the shelf, and I'm thinking someone saw that and thought, I remember that thing, and I can hate it. but you still got that nostalgia itch. You're like, oh, you almost want to put it on and try it on, because you just remember what it was like. But you also, after a second having it on your hand, you remember this thing sucked. When you try to play Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, it was supposed to make it better or something, and it didn't even work.
You remember what it was like. You remember what it was like, and then you put it on, and then you remember what it was like. It's no, I bought it from a flea market, and I hooked everything up, and you can tell like whether the buttons are lighting up or not, and it's like, oh, it's a little wonky. This one must be damaged, and I came to the realization, no, it was always just that bad.
Oh man, yeah, I freaking love all those gimmicky things Nintendo tried. I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think Sega must have learned from that, because I don't think Sega tried to do too many of those things. They were like, we see what Nintendo's doing. No, that doesn't work.
Yeah, they kept it a little more to things they knew works well, and they did reinvent the main controller that goes with their system a couple times. They added some buttons and stuff like that, but they kind of stayed safe.
Yeah. I think the big FU from Sega to Nintendo was, our controller's got 3 buttons. And Nintendo's like, damn you, Sega, let's add 4 buttons to our next controller, and a Z button thing at the bottom.
We're going to add 3 handles. Whoa. You're going off the rails, guy.
We're going to make this thing where you can hold it like this, or both. And it's going to have a stick and windshield wipers. Why do we have windshield wipers? What the hell is that thing for?
It looks like a drivable banana peel.
It was a big button war of 1995.
Button wars.
Who can bring you more buttons? More buttons! We need more buttons! Go back to the factory. Put more buttons on that damn thing. Sir, there's already 12 buttons on this thing. What are you doing, man?
Frank says we should add a zipper. Don't add any zippers, just buttons. Stay on track.
Wait a minute, this isn't the buttons we meant, man. What is this?
he's adding snaps. This looks like a jacket now.
This is a jacket. It is a jacket. It's the new NES jacket. Get out of here. You're fired. Since we're talking about old school gaming consoles and accessories from back in the day, what's one that you remember? Which one did you buy and say, oh my God, I just wasted my allowance on this POS? What was a game you bought and you thought you were going to love it and absolutely hated it? Or did you buy a game or somebody gifted you a game and you found out that it was one of your all-time favorites? Perfect example, I had no idea what Bionic Commando was. Somebody gave it to me for my birthday. I was like, I don't know what this is. I started playing it and became obsessed with it. So sometimes that happens as well.
All right, so it was Katamari Damacy. And I don't know if you've ever played that game. It's a strange name too. It's a puzzle type game where you collect things and they stick to you, but only if they're small enough. But as you collect things, you get bigger. So you're rolling around judging what you can and can't pick up. And let me tell you, the adrenaline rush from that game is unlike any other game you will play.
Wow.
For
right,
$20, man.
And that's always awesome when you find a game that was like dirt cheap and you end up loving it. So it's also nice and awesome when you go into like a yard sale or something and you find somebody selling a game that you either know is like it's a banger that you used to love, or you never got around to playing it, but you're like, oh, what's $5 at a yard sale? If it sucks, I'm only out $5, and then you turn around and you freaking love it. So that's why playing video games can be fun. It's not just the game itself. Sometimes it's the find, and you're like, oh, okay. And then there's also times you're, big time disappointed, and you have to take the L every once in a while.
Yep.
So
it's so true.
All right. Well, we would love to know what was one of your favorite video game moments, either in the arcade or at home with your console. Tell us in the comment section below. And of course, if you love our show, we would greatly appreciate if you check out our website, dbnted.com. You can see all our past episodes there. You can buy some merch. We've got tons of merch that we're trying to sell to help us out with the show. If you want to support the show, buy a shirt, buy a mug, buy something, and you help us out that way. If you really want to be awesome, really want to help us out, we also have a Patreon page set up where for just $10 a month, you get your name mentioned on the show. And we're even going to start doing a thing. I'm going to start a new tier, Ted, where if you pay a certain amount, we'll turn you into our cartoon character, because as you see in the show, we create characters to go along with whatever we're talking about. You can be featured as a character on the show. So we'll put that up on the Patreon page here soon. But anyway, if you want to be a Patreon supporter, go to our website, dbnted.com. Sign up to be a Patreon supporter, like our buddy Dave Baker over here, who's a big supporter of the show. We want to say thank you to him, as well as our buddy Toby over there in England, who watches every single week. Thank you so much. We'd love to give you a shout out, so make sure you hit us up on our website and become a Patreon supporter. We greatly appreciate it. So, all right, that's our show today, Ted.
I loved it. Thank you guys for the support. Hey, Dave. Hey, Toby. Thanks for everything. And see you guys next week.
And happy birthday to our buddy Joe. Turning the big 4-0. Woo!
Woo!
All right, thanks for watching. Please hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, give us a like, and we'll see you next time here on DB and Ted.